Hi! It's the 64th episode of Easy Update.
Whoa.
I think. So pretty sure we're going to do a favorite Nintendo 64 memories episode. I didn't have a 64.
Oh,
but
what?
But I do have a favorite 64 memory. It's when we all played Pokemon Snap together.
Oh, nice.
That was beautiful.
Wasn't there.
That might have been why I liked
Skipped
it so
it,
much.
yeah. Probably why.
What's yours, Brad?
6th grade.
I love it already.
6th grade. So, my parents know a couple big game franchises to me. There's a couple. One of them, probably the most important one that they know of, is called The Legend of Zelda. 6th grade. A little game called Ocarina of Time's coming out.
Heard of it?
Got the Nintendo powers, checking the pictures, especially back when it was Zelda 64 still. It's coming along. My dad skipped some work for me to go wait in line at Target to get me that sweet, sweet first edition gold box, gold cartridge, not nerfed, perfectly good in every way. Come home from school, just sitting there on my dining table, just says, "Hey Brad, have fun." And that's all the note says. And it says like "Dad."
That's great. Boss went outside and just said, "That's so cute."
Yeah, and I played it. It just blew my mind away.
That's great. That's great. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Jones, what's your favorite Nintendo 64 memory?
So, Nintendo 64 was everything, man. I mean, this hit me when I was in high school, so it was like, me and every single one of my friends were in it. Like, I don't think I knew someone that I spoke to on a regular basis that was not totally obsessed with Super Mario 64. But what was tragic, and what I feel a little bit bad about, was most of us were also employed at Blockbuster Video.
You were employed at Blockbuster?
I don't know if you've heard this company.
Okay. Yeah,
they used
I've heard
to
of it.
rent people video games and movies at a specific location
How strange.
that wasn't a box.
Yeah.
And for a while there, they rented consoles.
Yeah.
So they had 4 Nintendo 64s at that at the Blockbuster by Peninsula Center in Hawthorne and Palos Verdes, California. And if during the 90s you were to go to that Blockbuster, there is no way you would have rented a Nintendo 64, because me and my friends had it on lockdown and had rotated who was going to pay for whatever 2-week period we could rent the console.
But you worked there.
And we all worked there too. It's like we didn't steal them, we all paid for it, but
Right.
it never returned to the store. Like when that time went up and we knew we had to go in, it's like, oh well, it's going right back out and renting out to Mike, and then Mike would have it, and then.
Can I ask you this? Did you ever at any point cross the threshold of how much money you'd spent where it would have been cheaper to have just bought a 64?
I don't think so, because we all split it. It didn't move around that much. Like it stayed really at one or two, one person's house, or like the house we were most likely to go to congregate to play.
Sure.
And eventually, we bought our own consoles. But I remember that first couple months that it was out, we were all just like, wait, we can save money. And I just feel bad for the mom. It's like, I think you can rent them. It goes in Blockbuster. We're like, ooh, yeah, it's saying here on the computer we don't have it in stock.
We're out. Sorry. Don Casanova.
Congratulations on the big 6-4.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, oh, my God. 64 of these things. It's good. We're having fun. What's your
Good.
favorite memory?
Keep it rolling. The 64 for me was the first time I experienced, I guess, system hysteria. The thing with Switch that's happening right now with the classic, the original Wii. Nintendo's apparently been doing this for a couple decades. So for the 64 for me was system hysteria. Everyone wanted this so bad, and a couple of my favorite memories were regarding the launch of the 64. I remember when I was a little kid, before the 64 came out, you obviously until Jones came along, you couldn't see game media online, right? Yeah. So you had magazines or whatever, but if you wanted to see it in motion, you had to show up at a special toy store like Toys R Us or something that had the demo unit. That was the only way you could really play the system before it came out. So my school would take us, just by coincidence, for PE, or for some extracurricular soccer I was signed up for. We would go to the soccer field right next to the mall, right next to the Toys R Us. And every single week when we went there, right towards the beginning of practice, someone would be like, I gotta go to the restroom. And the closest restroom wasn't in the mall, but it was in the Toys R Us right there next to the soccer field. So then suddenly everyone else would be like, yeah, I gotta go too. And we had to have one of the adults go with us because we were pretty young. We would all go over there in a little pack, and we'd all go to the back of the Toys R Us to the restroom. Then we have to surreptitiously sneak around the aisle and go up to the front to play the demo unit as much as we could. And I just remember playing the underwater level is like the most amazing thing to be able to rotate around the camera and everything.
The feel of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that, like feeling that the first time. It was like, whoa.
Oh man! And one other quick detail that was real funny regarding the launch was my brother was working in the mall at KB Toys, and they had advanced knowledge that they were only going to get like 12 systems, right? And everyone wanted this thing. You knew it was going to be crazy. You couldn't pre-order it or anything like that, like you can do now. So he let us know, like, hey, just show up, before the mall opens, like 5 a.m. just to be safe. Blah blah blah. So we show up at 5 a.m. and there's outside the like roll down gates, in the mall stores, there's a mob of adult humans, parents, like at least 30 people. It seemed bigger. And they're literally like grabbing the chain links and shaking it. And the manager's on the other side and my brother's on the other side looking like terrified, like what the heck's about to go down. And he's like, please, if everyone would just step back from the gate and calm down. And literally these adults like would not listen. They're like shaking the gate for them to open. They wanted this thing so bad. And it was just hilarious and it was crazy. But I was super lucky. I got one, right when it came out.
Yeah.
Wave Race 64.
Backdoor
It's all
shady
history.
deals.
Yeah, I think
Nepotism.
we're past the statute of limitations
Yeah.
on his company policies he violated.
Yeah.
But I used my connections and
So I need to know, follow-up question.
yeah.
Were you in soccer just to play N64 at that Toys R Us?
When I initially signed up, no, but
Okay.
I stayed
It
in
kept
for the
you in
long.
it.
Yeah,
It
it
kept
kept
you
me
in
in
it.
for
Okay.
at least a couple months.
Thanks, Don. Ben Moore.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm excited for E3.
Me too.
Mm.
You got a 64 memory?
I do have a 64 memory. So when I was a kid, there was definitely a point after my first console was the Sega Nomad, and then I got a PlayStation, and then I got an N64. And the more consoles I got, the more time I spent playing video games, and my parents hated this. They were like, you are spending your entire summer inside playing games. You need to go out there. You need to hang out with people. You need to socialize. And they would get really mad at me because I would pretend that I would go outside, then I'd sneak back into the house and try to play some more games.
The N64 made all of us very sneaky.
Yeah, I was definitely a sneaky kid. I remember playing Banjo-Kazooie late at night after I was supposed to be going home. But the one that really sticks out to me, Mario Golf, is a game that brought the family together.
Oh, okay.
So I was playing Mario Golf, and my dad was like, oh, that looks kind of fun, and we don't have anything to do. Maybe your mom and I will play it with you. And my mom was just so resistant. She was like, I don't know how to play. I don't know how this thing works. She was holding the N64
Yeah.
controller, just rolling her eyes.
An intimidating controller.
And we played it, and I played Yoshi, and my dad played Wario, and my mom played Toad. And after about 30 minutes, they were all laughing and loving it. And it wasn't super often, but we made Mario Golf a semi-regular thing. And I will always be so grateful to Mario Golf because, one, it brought the family together, and two, it kind of backed off on the video game hate. They're like, oh, okay, maybe it's
We
not
get
so
it
bad.
now.
We'll continue to support this activity.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bringing families together.
Yeah.
So I've talked about GoldenEye a ton in the past. I'm not gonna talk about GoldenEye, but I wanted to say GoldenEye. So I'm not talking about it by talking about it.
Right.
The beginning, the origins, N64, I remember being in a Target with my brother, and my brother always had a really good way of using me to get something that he also wanted, so getting me riled up. So we're in the store, they have Turok gameplay demo
Yes.
ready to go, and I'm freaking out about this game, but then he was prodding me more to oh, these graphics, we gotta get it, so my brother and I begged and begged, and then my birthday was coming up in a month and a half, and my mom and dad, my mom was there, and she's just like, yo, we're just gonna get it, we're gonna get you early birthday present, so we get it, bring it home. It's got the Rumble Pack, Turok with the Rumble Pack, which was crazy. We just for the longest time would shoot bullets and whoa, it rumbles.
it was big. It was big news.
Yeah.
It was big.
And then we take that for granted now, and then the other one is we're playing for an hour or something, and we get to a save point, and it's all right, you need a controller pack. I'm like, what? Controller pack? It's no, you need the controller pack to save your game.
Well,
We had no idea. We didn't know what it was. We figured out that you needed this add-on thing to save your game. So we had to get back in the car. We're like, Mom, like, please, come on, it's like $30. Like, we won't be able to turn the system off like forever. It'll have to be on forever. Like if we don't get this. She's like, all right, fine. You know, she gave in, of course, and we went and we got the memory pack, and that was it. Turok.
Bloodworth. What's your favorite 64 memory?
Okay, I'm hoping that this is not a repeat, but I don't know for sure. But the one I'm gonna go with is several months after I graduated high school, Ocarina of Time comes out, and like a lot of big games, comes out in November, getting close to Thanksgiving, and I'm just like playing it and like, all right, I'm just gonna play until like I get the horse. No idea like how long that's gonna take, and I play, and then like I realized that like I've played through the entire night. Sun is coming up.
Oh no.
And it's Thanksgiving Day. And I have to cook a turkey and all kinds of other stuff. And there's no chance for me to sleep. I've just got to power through and make Thanksgiving dinner having not slept because of Zelda.
Did you ever get the horse though?
Oh yeah.
Later that day, or when'd you get it?
I mean, I think I got it before that point, but it was
just
just
like, all right, I'm done.
It was just like one of those things where it's like you just kept making new goalposts. You're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that,
yeah,
I'm gonna do
one more turn.
Yeah,
one more turn.
exactly.
Like the system. Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, Blood. Okay, well that wraps it up for the Allies' favorite N64 moments. Real quick though, we have a live correction. Ben, take us away.
All right, so I messed up. I was thinking in Mario Tennis on N64 you can play as Toad, but in Mario Golf you cannot play as Toad. He's a non-playable character.
Scandal.
So I definitely played Yoshi, and my dad definitely played Wario. I need to call my mother and figure out what character she played, because it wasn't Toad, because you couldn't play as him.
Can't call her right now because it's
here's the
midnight in Iowa.
Because here's the thing, Toad goes, "Oh, B!" when you hit it out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And so why I remember that is when I would play Mario Golf with my friend, my N64 friend, the only one I had who had an N64.
The only friend you had, we know what you meant.
Every single time he would go, "Oh, B!" and he'd go, "Tampons."
What?
We thought that was so funny, but he like started doing it out of habit, and then the joke wasn't funny anymore. So he'd go, "Oh, B!" he'd go, "Tampons," and then silence.
That's
my N64 memory.
What the hell?
That's never going away. That now exists for all eternity.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Good night and good game.